Good morning. It's Saturday morning. I'm a blessed man. I'm going to show you something back here. This week, Bandit and Dave from Bronco Equipment, and they have two offices in Oklahoma. They have one in Stillwater and one in Cushing, Oklahoma. They brought me out a machine to demo and basically play with it. They allowed me 5 hours, and this machine's for sale right now at a bargain price. Right here, I put Dave's contact. It'll come up here. And Dave from Bronco Equipment. And this machine's for sale right now at a bargain price. I'm just going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you the price. That's something for you to deal with Dave with. But I'm just going to tell you I know what these go for, and this is a bargain, Bob. I put 5 hours or under 5 hours on this machine. And let me sit down here a minute, talk to you before I show you the machine. Now, a lot of you guys know I run 2550s, correct? I've got, let me turn this around. One there with a blade on it. This one here is one of my originals. I'm rebuilding this whole machine. There's the one we run every day. That has the Kohler engine on it. That one there has the Kubota engine on it. And this is the original old one. And the reason why it's wrapped in plastic, I'm changing a turbo. That was a 44 horsepower Kubota on it. So I know these machines inside and out. The one behind me is all new to me. All my machines are manual hydraulic control machines. I just like it that way. I've been doing this so long, 30 years or whatever. I just always like hand over hydraulic controls. But my buddy Oscar, which you'll see in the video, he used to work for me, and the machines he liked for me to buy for him to run were always remote control. I said, here's the machine. His nickname is Gizmachi because it's short for Gizmo, because he loves everything, you know, drones, anything that's like electronics and stuff. That's his forte. Now my son, you know, he comes from the newer era. He's going to be 25 this year, and so in the videos you'll see him running it. And there's another guy I got to say thank you to is Corey Austin. He's another guy that's taken over from Oscar. He's Oscar's nephew, and he loves remote control machines also. I'm getting older. I'm 62. So there was a learning curve for me on this. Those guys just grab it and they got it, you know. For me, I was, you know, misfit and clumsy. Because when you run machines, whether they're manual or electric over, let's say radio over hydraulics, that's really what it is, remote control. After, it's muscle memory, right? I can run these other machines with my eyes closed, right? Because it's muscle memory. I do it repeatedly. Now these, I got it down like after 30 minutes. I started memorizing where everything is without looking at it, but I still had to look down at the controls. And my son's coming, and I'll show you him just starting it up, and we'll show you the remote control and some features on it and stuff like that, all right? But right now I'm going to show you the machine. Let me turn this around. But once again, thank you to Bandit Corporation. They made this happen. Thank you to my dealer, Bronco Equipment Sales in Cushing and Stillwater. Remember, the guy Dave, that's who you saw the number. I'm going to put it up there. This machine's at a bargain Bob right now. You know, hey, I'm not telling you to buy it. I'm just telling you it's a bargain Bob, all right? So let's turn this around. Let's just do a walk around till my son gets here. I know what you're gonna say. Holy Toledo, man, that's a gigantic machine. Yes, it is a big machine. It's 134 inches long from there all the way there, okay? And the width on the machine, when you're traveling and, you know, running the machine, once you get to whatever stump you do, is 55 inches from track to track. These tracks are retractable. All right, they'll retract down to 35 inches, so you can get through a 36-inch gate, you know. And then it comes with a new river wheel. And, you know, you guys have, I'm not going to tell you about New River or whatever, you guys already know. And the machine's a little dirty, yes, because I just washed it this morning. All right, and it has a gigantic chip containment system. That means that when you're grinding, all the chips start going into here. And hold on, I'm gonna lower something down so you can see better. These spring-loaded like bungee cords to hold the wings, so it's hard for me to do it with one hand, but I'll get it out. There we go. There we go. Let's go see what we got when we're down so you can be intimidated some more. But you really don't need to be. So there's, right here, the wings are down. Then you're gonna pull a pin down here. And what that's gonna do is, and I should have done this before, but there you go. Our flap system's down, and we'll do it on the other side. You're starting to see how big the containment system is. Supposed to be the largest in the industry. There we go. So, that whole Batman wing type thing is your containment system for your chips. I didn't have any problems with it throwing chips anywhere. Except for, I'm going to recommend something when you're grinding. Do not stand, if remote controlly, do not stand here in front. Stand to your side. When you're grinding, stand to the other side. Because this shield doesn't come over a whole lot like the 2550s. 2550s will not throw really anything this way. This one will throw some this way. All right, so that's just an FYI. You know, I'm telling you as an operator, not as a salesman, I'm telling you as an operator. All right, here's another thing on the machines. I'm giving you an honest review. When you're done with every job, when you're loading it back on a trailer, take your blower, blow out. Now, I would run this machine on the trailer backwards, so that way when you're going down the highway, the wind's not blowing here, blowing stuff out. That way I would put the front, turn it around, have the control system the other way. That way when you got to the job site, you just drive right off right to the job. The hardest part would be backing it up. All right, so here's your wing containment system. You see how big it is? It's real big. All right. Now another thing, and you need to know this, some guys complain, even way back with the ZTs and stuff, that the track system, that it gets clogged with chips and stuff. Well, listen, if some of you guys ever been around heavy equipment, this is just a fact about anything on tracks, ditch witches, whatever it is on tracks. You have to clean your tracks out. So my suggestion is always, either at the end of the day or before you put the trailer going to the next job, or even at a job site. And if you're in some kind of gigantic, you know, there's gigantic stumps out there and there's chips everywhere, and you're starting to get deep into chips, take your blower, blow it out. And make sure, blow it out always, because chips will get contained into here. All right, same thing with ZTs, the same thing with ditch witches, same thing. Let me tell you, I've run bulldozers. Same thing with bulldozers. Bulldozers, the operator's job is to have a shovel and clean out on the bulldozer. Why? Because it just makes things last more. The dozer, the wheel, doesn't have to bind. When you have a track system, you blow it out, clean it out, keep it clean. At least once a week, wash it out like I just did, and you're not going to have problems, all right? And if you do have a problem, like you're packed with chips, run it in reverse. Your hydraulic motor is here. So all your major power is going to be here. Run it in reverse. It'll clean itself out, then you go forward. That's just, you know, these are idler wheels all going all the way down to that motor. So that motor there has to push through all the thing. So if it gets all clogged up in chips, you're going against the grain. Run it backwards, clear itself out. I'm just telling you, you could drop your head, kick the wheels. That's what I used to do with the ZT. Drop the head, kick the machine up this, run the tracks backwards, cleaned out, they go. It's just stuff you live and you learn. All right, now another thing on this machine, if you own one, all right, or you're about to buy one and you buy one and start doing this, this is a very, very bad habit to do. I'm just going to tell you this. Right here, there is a pin. Right there. And I'll show you the other side. Here's the other side. That pin comes through. Right? That's a travel pin. All right? And that pin, when you get to wherever you're going, Then you lift the hydraulic just a hair, pull the pin out, store it up there. What that pin does is when you're going down the road, you need to really understand this, okay? What's supporting this? A hydraulic ram, right? And there's your ram running right up here. All right? So what's supporting that weight of that engine, the wheel, all that stuff is that large hydraulic ram. As you're going down the road, even if you don't see this thing going like that, the micro vibrations like this, it's putting all that pressure in the hydraulic ram. And you will blow seals or wear out a cylinder early. So, I know people get lazy and stuff, so if you buy a machine like this and have employees, you make sure you train them on. Every time they get to the new job site, you pull the pin, put it up there. When you get out of the job, you're ready to load on the trailer, get ready to go home or move to the next job, put the pin back into travel down there. And then everything lasts longer, right? Then you got grease points all around the machine. Grease it, right? That's the responsibility of the operator. All right, now let me give you some specs on this machine. It's 74 horsepower. It's called an SG75. So you think automatically, oh, it's 75 horsepower. It's 74 horsepower. It's a Kohler diesel. All right. And some of you guys have been around a long time, like me. Look at this machine and really tell me what it is. I'll tell you. All right. It is a mobile tow behind unit. And you know tow behinds are fantastic for land clearing. So that's basically what this is. It's a tow behind that you can move without a vehicle and stuff. So it's got balls. This is a very powerful machine. Now there's one thing that they equip this machine, because with tree companies, you never know what employee is going to be running a piece of equipment. So this machine has a feature, I want to get this right, I guess it's called Super Sweep. All right. Other companies had other names for that same type, let's say, application or accessory or what do you want to call it. This has a computer on it, right? This is a 74 horsepower tier 4 engine. So on the computer system, what it has is on the Super Sweep, when you're grinding, okay, and someone decides to take too big of a bite into the stump, you know, instead of taking the proper, they say, oh, I'm gonna, do deeper. It will slow the swing, and it'll also allow the hydraulic system and the engine to match itself back up. I'm trying to put it the right way or whatever. So the engine gains its RPM back up, and then it'll keep pulling then while you're pushing. But it's to keep it from stalling, and there's a shear pin up there. It's to keep from breaking shear pins. Okay. Now that is an adjustable feature on these machines. Don't ask me how to do it. I'm not going to tell you. It's in manuals and everything. There are other adjustments. When my son gets here, I'll show you the remote that you can program in this machine. One of them is called creep. How fast you want the machine to go forward into the stump. All right. So, and then when you hit the creep button on the remote, I'll show you it. Both tracks move at the same time. All right. So here's, because a lot of guys don't even see that button. And you know, one of those guys was this guy right here, me. I didn't see it till after the first 5 minutes. All right. Now, and that I was using both controls for both wheels, kind of like you use on anything from a Bobcat to anything on tracks or skid steers. You know, I was pressing both of them to go and adjusting that way. So when the creep, it just goes, you just hit the button, it goes forward. Both tracks move at the same time. There's a lot of electronics on here, a lot of high-end features. You know, things have come a long way. And so you're going to say to me, oh, Adam, I run remote control machines. Okay, you do. But guess what? As you all know, every machine, every manufacturer has something different. And as time has gone on, things have gotten higher tech, and also things have gotten more sophisticated, more features. All right, the old one like this here, that was remote control Oscar had? Very simple, just like 4 or 5 buttons on the stupid remote. That's it. This one has a tremendous amount of buttons on a remote. You have to learn every feature. Right? So just don't think you're going to go out and go balls to the walls and do it. Oscar, who's been running remotes forever, and you'll see Corey Austin in the video too, been running remotes for probably about 2-3 years. They adapted to it really fast, and they didn't have any problems, but they still had some, oh, that button uses this, that. So Oscar ran this machine, and you'll see, look back on some of the shorts this week. He ran this machine, and he ran it very generally. I don't own this machine. This is loaned to me, so I'm not about to beat on something that's loaned to me, right? And it was a learning process. So there we go with that. I'm going to show you some more features, but I'm going to turn this around and talk to you for a minute. I know if you think I talk too much, just tell me. I just want to get all of this in for you so you know. Okay, hold on. Thanks for hanging with me. If you don't like it, you can just pass around in the video the parts you want to know about. I am an operator. I'm not a salesman. I'm not a representative of Bandit. I'm an operator, an owner-operator. Okay, so I can tell you where this machine fits in. Really, for me, this machine would sit a lot of times for me due to what I'm doing. It would come as an asset, but my future plans are to add to my fleet is the SG40. I used to have the ZT, and I'll get a bigger trailer and run 2 machines at one time, because I've been losing a lot of jobs for tight, tricky access stuff and passing them on to another guy, and I finally figured out, hey, I'll get an SG40, put 2 machines on one trailer, and my son can do the other ones, and I can whip into the backyard or go up on the flower banks. And then later on, I'll pick up one of these when I get even older, 62, to where he'll call me and say, they got a big one, Pop. And then Pops, even though I'm going to be older, I'll say, okay, I'll go take care of that. Go ahead and go. I'll take a big one. But where this machine really, really comes into play, I'll tell you from years of experience. Golf courses, land clearing. I did a land clearing job. Also, I do work for landscaping, tree companies. That means replanting of trees. They specialize in that. So a lot of times we go to high-end places, and they want a tree in the same exact spot. And with the 2550, a lot of times I have to do is I'll grind one way, move the machine and grind sideways from where I was grinding, regrind it. They'll dig out the hole, and if anything else is left in there, I'll grind it wider so I could drive down in the hole and get everything out. Right? This one here has almost a 24-inch depth of going down, which is what everybody tells me in the specs when they'll text me and say, Adam, we're planting a new tree, we need it 2 feet down. So I've got to do extra work with the 2550 to get my head down that low. This one will basically, for me, will go into China. So that's a forte of this machine. Golf courses is another thing. Storm chasing is another thing. And due to having tracks, all right, here's another thing you guys need to know about storms. If you ever want to be a storm chaser, you got debris everywhere. You could have sharp objects and all. If your tires aren't foam filled, you'll be fighting flats, and you'll be down. Track machines are very good for storm chasing, so that's another asset for these machines. This machine, let me turn this around, so you can see. Uprooted trees, this machine, very good for uprooted machines, because you have a very good access right here. Where you pull that up, and you can plow into them. Tracks, most uproots are in storm-ridden areas, so you're going with tracks. So those are pluses on this machine. I do golf courses 2550, so we can have 2 on a golf course at a time. Or I could call in my reinforcements, call Oscar, call my brother, call Corey Austin, which I've done, and we knock out the job. That way my regular contractors are all taken care of. So we've gone over where this machine really, really shines. I live in a suburban environment here, but most of my work is done in a city. And I've got a lot of tight axes, a lot of tight stuff. So this is good for the front yard. And then I'm still had to use a 2550 to get in the back. I could get in the back with that, but it's so tall to where it's just faster and easier with the 2550. I'm being very honest. So front yards, or if you live in a city or suburb to where everything's, you know, open. Florida has a lot of open stuff and more of a flatter area. I live in all kinds of conditions here where I go. I use this for land clearing. And then I'm going to tell you something really special about, I don't like to talk money, but I'm going to talk money. You know, my 2550s, they produce me between $300 to $350. And this is region wise, so don't go by me. Remember, all around the United States, you get different prices of different things. Per clock hour. That means the clock that's on the machine. They produce me between 300, sometimes 400, let's say 350 per clock hour. This machine back here produced me, with the 5 hours that I ran it, truly 450 per clock hour. You know, one big thing about it was the swing. Oh, let me tell you about the swing. I don't want to BS you on the swing, okay? The swing is 80 inches. And some of you said, what swing, Adam? What do you mean by swing? Swing is that cutter head goes 40 that way and goes 40 that way. That means less positioning time of the machine, relocating machine, just 80 inches side to side. That's pretty damn big, you know. So that's another plus on this machine. Time is money. So my machine, I say 450 for this machine per clock hour is what you produce. Let me say my other ones, let's just say 350. And that's because of they're very, very experienced in how we grind and how we attack things. And when we get to a job site, we get out of the truck. We don't unhook the machine. We get out of the truck. We walk around it, look at the job, and say how we're going to do it. We're going to do this. We have a pre-plan, get back, unload, and do it. That's how we do things in my company. Right. And now my son's taking over. Right. So we talked about the tracks. We talked about the wheels. I got a large wheel. We talked about the depth. It'll go just about 24 inches deep. All right. And it's a bad boy machine. A lot of guys like them. You know, when they first came out, they worked out all the little bugs they had on them. They upgraded a lot of things on these machines. Another guy here in town, a good friend of mine, Chet from 4M, he owns one. All your controls are back here in the back. All right. There's your hydraulic cooler. Differently than my 2550s, because everything on my 2550 is hydraulic, right? So this requires a smaller cooling system, because you're going from engine right there to a shaft that comes down, and that's basically a drive shaft. Okay, so you'll have a yoke up there and a yoke down in there to a gear driven. So this is more direct. You have a lot of power. Now they save you from, you know, guys getting too crazy and all, but with that super sweep, like I told you, it'll slow everything down. But this is programmable about how fast, when you touch a button, how fast it'll kick left, right, how fast it'll travel. A lot of things are programmable. Let me show you where all the hydraulics are in this machine. I'm sorry you're seeing all the wetness here. It's because I washed it. All right, up here. Let me lock this. Okay, let me open this. All right, do you have a radio control in this machine? It's kept in a case. I've got it in my truck, and I'll bring it out when my son gets here. This is a tether control. Should your radio go down for any reason at all, there's a tether in here. And here's your other control. All right, and it has all, let's see what it says here. I haven't looked at it. Head down, left track, creep. See, there's a creep where you hit that button and they both go, right? Both tracks move at the same time. Cutter wheel, blade down. This machine does not have a blade, but it's already programmed for it. All right, swing right, swing left. head up, creep, da 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 da. All your functions are right here on these switches. This is your tether. That means you can hook this, plug this in, hook it with a cord, and run it. Right? And actually, this on a tether looks a lot simpler than the radio. Your battery's back here. Right? Here's all your hydraulic controls. All right, and these are all easy access for all your hydraulics right here. All right, and so here's right here would be your antenna. Oh, let me get this up here so you can see. Your antenna for the machine will be up here. Okay, and you can get pretty far from the machine with that antenna. Your fuel tank is here, and it holds, let's see how much fuel it holds. Oh, I think it was like 16.25 gallons of fuel it holds. Hydraulic tank, I can't remember how many it has, maybe 6 gallons, something like that. Now, in here on the top, you have the chargers. You have a plug-in charger and a cigarette lighter charger for the remote. All right, and then there's also a spot on here. Oscar was telling me that you can plug in, right here, right there. The cigarette lighter port goes in there, so you can charge the remote right in here. All right, so itself, it can be charged. You don't need to plug it in your car, you can plug it in here. So everything, the grading blade would be in the back. This one is not equipped with it. Let me close this, and get this closed. This is an emergency stop. Almost all machines have those now. And well, right now we're done till my son gets here. Then I'm going to show you what the remote looks like, what it looks like to start up, and we'll go from there. Hopefully, really guys, I'm sorry it's a long video, but I wanted to make it a detailed thing. All right, so, and I'm going to tell you something else. November, if you're looking at anything, any kind of stump grinder that this company has to offer, or chippers, there's the TCI show. I told you about it last year and the year before. This one will be in St. Louis. You go there, you get to look at it, you get to touch stuff, and you get to talk to people, and you can, and then there's also finance companies there and stuff. I'm just going to tell you again, I'm not trying to sell this machine. I'm just going to tell you this machine is really at a good price. And once again, I'll put Dave's name up there, his phone number, call him. And we're in Oklahoma, okay? So let's wait for my son to get here in a little bit, and we'll go on. All right, my son's coming here, but before he gets up on here, I'm going to show you a couple of short videos of us running this machine, and then we'll go through a total walk around on this whole machine. Well, it's the next day. My son's over there. I'll show you in a second with the 2550s. We got 40-something stumps on this lot. The land clearing for new construction. Oscar, right there, McLaurin, he used to work with me years ago, and he was always assigned a remote control machine, so he loves remote control. It's taken him maybe 3 minutes to get accustomed to this machine because he's used to remote control. So, I don't know how many stumps are here, 40, 50, something like that, like I'm saying. But there's another lot over there, so we're going to knock these out in less than an hour, move over to the next lot. So he's really loving this SG75, and as you see, he knows how to walk and run this machine. It's nothing. My son still runs manual control, so if you're new to remote control, trust me, it's going to take a little bit to get used to it, okay? This is our second day. Actually, we ran it for an hour or so yesterday. Today we're just here for about 15 minutes. We've got 40-something stumps to do. We're tag teaming with my 2550 XP hydraulic control machine. My son's running it. Then Austin's running the SG75. He's been on that machine for about 5-6 minutes. He's very familiar with remote control unit, so he's testing it, finding out what the improvement is on it, the swing and stuff. You know, he's getting used to it. Every machine has something, okay? So he likes it, and I know within an hour he'll be able to close his eyes and read it. He's got muscle memory, okay? Just different controls. He normally runs a 2550 remote control only. And the newer models have a newer type of more features, okay, on the remote. My son's here, and let me turn this around, and we're going to show you how the machine started up and how to link it to the remote, and just a couple of things, not too much. I don't want to overwhelm you today. Let me turn this around. All right. They give you a box, and inside the box right here with padding will be your remote. It has magnets on the back, and it has a harness to wrap around your waist. Now right now we're just clicking on there with the magnets. Now we're going to show you how to start the machine up and what this gauge looks like and how to link that to this. All right, turn it on. You'll hear a click. Yep, you hear that? All right, everything is gauged. Motor's on, and you'll see the screen here in a minute. All right, there you go. This machine has 14.1 hours. Well, 14.2. I only put 4.2 hours on this machine. It came to me with 10 hours on it. All right, so now we're gonna link this to this. So now we gotta go with this middle button, press it, manual, now you see it's radio, so now he's gonna tether this white button, hold it down.
Hold it down 5 seconds.
5 seconds. 1 click to turn on, 5 seconds to link. All right, now we're linked. Now, see if the throttle goes up. There you go. Throttle control is here. I'll show you here. This is creep, and I never saw that before. That's the one that makes the machine go both tracks same time. Go forward. Now to make this machine go left, right, forward, you hold this button down here. This is for the left side. You hold that button down here. And that one is for the right side. So you hold it and you click it and run that way. Reverse is down this way. Everything's self-explanatory. When you let go of these buttons, you're no longer in the track system. Then your two big toggles here run your cutter. Cutter wheel up and down, swing left or right. Alright? So all these middle stuff, there's all different features on here. Your swing speed, you can set it with here. And then here is your bump time, all right? Bump time, which is going this way. Tracks, in or out. That means to bring your tracks narrow or spread them back out, all right? So that's just a basic overrun. I'm not going to show you how to really run this machine. That's something you would have to have your hands on here to show. And your dealer will walk you through all this. So now we're going to go down to the shutdown. How do you shut this down?
Go ahead and press it 3 seconds.
3 seconds.
Turn it off. Turn it off.
Okay, controls are off. You hear that difference? And then what you do right here, shut the machine down. Machine's off, controller's off. Now you can store it inside this lid here, plugged in, but this is the heart of your machine, all right? You want to take care of it. So then you'll put it back in this box. It keeps all the dust, the dirt, all that stuff, and you lock it all up. It's a Pelican case, all right? So there you go. There's my son Brandon, and he's 25, and he runs this thing. He makes me look like a moron running this thing. All right. So special thanks once to Bandit Corporation, Dave from Bronco Equipment. We really appreciate you.
Thank
you. And it's a great machine. It's a big machine. All right. So once again, I'll put his number right there, Dave, and call him if you're interested in this machine. I can't tell you the price, but this is truly, truly a bargain, okay? And because I don't want to piss off a lot of people. So God bless you, and see you on the next one.